So we put out a record. It goes nowhere. I never really liked how the record came out and all that kind of stuff. That's another long story that doesn't need to be told. And then Teddy, because the group wasn't working out. Teddy, he starts focusing more on his production as a producer. You know what I mean? He started doing a lot of production. Like I was there when Heavy D came to do his song. Mr. Big Stuff.
Oh,
I was there. I seen Teddy do that. It's like it sounded better than if you listen to the record. What Teddy did sounds better than the record. You know what I mean? Because in those days, you do a demo, then you would do it. Then you go in the studio and do it over.
okay.
You know what I mean? And a lot of times the demos would always be better than the record. You know what I mean? I was there when Teddy did. Who else he did? Whew, Teddy boy, Kumo D. Who else? It was somebody else. Oh, I was there when Teddy did the show.
Oh,
The W Fresh.
how
You know what I mean?
what did you witness when he did that?
Yeah.
'Cause that. What did you notice?
Man, all I know is I don't remember why I came to Teddy's house, but I know he wanted me to do a favor for him or something like that. I came there for some reason. I don't know what it was. Maybe I had to give him some equipment or something like that. I walked in the door and he was bam, bam, bam. Like, what the hell is this? What is this? And like, I don't know, maybe a year later or whatever, it was out. I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? That guy was amazing, man. Like amazing. That's like I've always been right there, but never like I met Elder Barge. I met Elder Barge at Warner Brothers when I was signed to Quincy Jones. I used to be signed to Quincy Jones in the early '90s. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. No, so we're gonna we're gonna move forward to the 90s, but before we get there, um, when the track that you guys put out after you came back to the group didn't go anywhere, did you was it is it Teddy that left, or did three of you just say that's the end, or what was the conversation?
Teddy left first. Teddy left first because we had a show in North Carolina because we had some airplay in Greenville, I think it was North Carolina, something like that, and so we were on the radio then, and we had a show scheduled down there, and Teddy just didn't show up. He just didn't show up.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. He was getting that money.
Oh,
He was getting
yeah.
that money because we were not. So, our manager at the time, there was a guy named LaVeva, who was also a friend of ours. He kind of looked like Teddy, like Timmy. Him and Timmy they looked similar. So he was like, I'll just take Teddy's place. I'll just be in the group. You know what I mean? Because he did the record. He actually did the record with us. He sang partial lead on one of our songs. So he's
Okay.
like, it was just the right thing to do at the time. So he did the show with us. And then after a while, it wasn't working out. And Timmy, stopped coming around. You know what I mean? Because he was starting to do good. You know what I mean? He's starting to get a lot of work. Whatever. Or whatever he was doing. I don't know. I know he had moved to Virginia and he got married and all that kind of stuff. So he left. Then I stayed. And matter of fact, I had put out a solo record called it was a song called Hurt Town, but it didn't come out good. But the mix came out terrible. But the actual song that I did was actually, it's so funny. That's why I get so mad sometimes. The song I did was a song called Hurt Town. It was the first new jack swing song that Teddy did ever.
Uh-oh.
I'm telling you, I don't even know if he remembers that. The first new jack swing song that Teddy ever did in his life was a song called Hurt Town. It was a dope song, but when they left and then I did it by myself and some guy came to mix it, he messed up the mix and it came out terrible. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But it was the first song because he did that song in, I want to say like 85. You know what I mean? Maybe 84, 85 or something like that. It's the first, if it's not the first New Jack Swing song he did, it's the first one I ever heard. And in those days, I was around him all the time. You know what I mean? Because, Teddy always had a mature sound with his music. You know what I mean? But that's the first time I seen him swing the drums like that. You know what I mean? It was like boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? That's the first time I heard him do that. You know what I mean? Then after that, that's when he did Heavy D, and he started swinging drums. You know, that boom, ah, boom, boom, ah, boom, ah, boom, boom, ah, boom, boom. You know, that guy's amazing. So,
what happened? Did the single come out? What happened to the song? What happened to the song?
It came out, but it was honestly, if I'm being honest, it was whack. It was whack. The song was dope. Just the mix was whack.
Okay.
It was a dope song. It was really dope. It was a song that Timmy had originally sang, and Timmy and Teddy was supposed to come out with that song by themselves when we wasn't in the group together.
Oh, what, you said it's called what? Hurt Town?
Huh? Hurt Town.
Hurt, like in someone being hurt?
Yeah, like I hurt myself. Hurt Town. It's the same concept as Heartbreak Hotel. Remember Heartbreak Hotel by the Jacksons?
Yeah.
It's the same concept.
Was it under your name then?
Yeah, Clarel. Just my first name, Clarel. Clurel. Hurt Town. It's probably on YouTube somewhere. I don't know. I can't find. I found like some kind of dub mix of it, but I haven't found the actual record of it.
Oh, and you don't have a copy of it?
No, I don't have a copy. I don't have a copy of none of that stuff. I got copies of the new stuff.
Okay. So you didn't have any. Okay. So when Timmy goes off and Teddy goes off, what's happening with you when they've
at this point, I'm just making demos. You know what I mean? Like I'm still signed to the record company that Timmy and Teddy was signed to when they were trying to do a thing together before God.
That was Rooftop.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Rooftop. So I'm still signed to them. I got keys to the studio. I'm just going in there, and I'm basically, honestly, I'm basically almost living in the studio, like literally living in the studio, because I was a rebellious kid. You know what I mean? I ain't listen to my mother, and a lot of times she wouldn't let me stay there. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I didn't have nowhere to go. I would sleep in the studio. Wow. I would just sleep in the studio. You know what I mean? And sadly, this it's like I became when I was an older teenager, I became like a womanizer because I used it to survive. You know, I would literally go out and meet girls just so I could spend the night at their house. You know what I mean? And yeah, so at this point I was just making demos and trying to get record deals, but I didn't know how to produce myself in those days. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had Timmy and Teddy. I was spoiled. You know what I mean? I would just, in the Kid to Work days, I would just show up. Timmy would show me the lyrics. Teddy had already did the music. I would learn the lyrics and I would just sing and leave. It was easy. You know what I mean? So when they left, because Timmy was the organizer, he was the one that Timmy could walk up to a gangster. Timmy would walk up to a gangster and say, "Yo, man, I got a singing group. Would you be interested in managing us?" He didn't care who they were. He was just a very bold guy. And Teddy was the type of guy he could walk up to anybody too and get deals. That's how we got the deal through Teddy. But Timmy was the one who organized for people to pay for us to go in the studio all the time.
Wow.
So these guys were like everything. They were like business-wise, they were everything to me. You know what I mean? And I was just a singer. So when they left, it was like my parents left or something. It was like I didn't know what to do. So I would make demos, and sometimes I would almost, like, the closest I ever got was when you heard of Kumo D?
Yeah.
Me and Kumo D ended up having the same manager.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because LaFava, the guy that was managing us, he started managing Kumo D. Actually, Teddy had made the first record of Kumo D. And when Kumo D became a big star, then LaFava saw me one time in the studio. He said, "I should work with you again." You know what I mean? So he put me in this group, and he had gotten he got a label deal with Quincy Jones. You know what I mean? And then I got signed to Quincy Jones. You know what I mean? So I came close, and I don't know what happened. All I know is we lost the deal right before we came out. Wow. We never came out. You know what I mean? And this group would have been another bad group too. Woo! I just stuff like this just kept on happening to me. You know what I mean? I would get right there and lose the whole situation. You know what I mean? Like, I remember I was And I remember when one time this guy from Baltimore, because I'm actually in Baltimore right now. This guy from Baltimore was going to sign me to Rough Riders. Remember Rough Riders with DMX in them?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he had a label deal with Rough Riders, and it was me. I was singing in a group. I was in a group with this girl named Tasha, a good friend of mine named Tasha. We was in a group together, and we were signed. We were getting ready to sign with Rough Riders under this man's label, and we did the record, and then he died.
Wow.
He got shot and died. You know what I mean? So it's like stuff like that just kept on happening to me. Like I'll be right there. Nope, psych, I'm taking it away.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like I remember one time, I remember Teddy's company, when Teddy and Gene had their record company, their
GR Productions.
Yeah, GR Productions. They called me for a solo deal on MCA, but I was signed to Rooftop, so I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave. You know what I mean? And this is when Teddy was at the height of his career.
Yeah.
This is when Guy was like the biggest group in the world, and Teddy was like 6 and 7 songs on the radio will all be done by Teddy. You know what I mean? And I could have had a major deal on MCA. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was it like when after you'd broken up and then all of a sudden did you know that Timmy, Aaron, and Teddy were working on the debut Guy album?
Yeah. I one day I was in the I saw them at the club, the same club I said earlier, the Red Parrot. I was out partying, doing what I do. I saw Timmy. What's up, Tim? What's up, man? This is Aaron, singing in my group. What's up, man? And we all met, and it was me, Timmy, Teddy, and Aaron. And we hung out for the whole night, had a ball, laughing, joking, and everything. You know what I mean? I remember Aaron after the club. Aaron had fell asleep on the bench. He was like this on the bench. I run up and was like, ah! So we was all cool. And I used to come to Teddy's house and listen, and watch them make their record. You know what I mean?
Are you serious?
Like I heard, I heard I Like and Groove Me and all that stuff before it came out. Round and Round and all that kind of. Round and Round was the first song that Teddy showed me from the album. You know what I mean? Yeah, and honestly, it was bittersweet. I'm not gonna lie. I was sad but happy because Gina came back into the picture, and he wanted to work with me again. So I was happy about that. You know what I mean? But it took a long time because I was still under contract and everything. But yeah.
So they couldn't get you onto Guy. They couldn't say, "Why don't you come in and be one of them?"
I don't think they would have done that because it's just what it is about people. This is the funny thing about people, and I'm saying people, all of us. People always are victims of their greatest success. Meaning, if you, I became popular in the 80s, so I still wore my hair all long down my back.
Okay.
But I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave the 80s, and Timmy and them was ready to leave the 80s. Timmy and them had the fresh, flat tops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't want to get a flat top. I was always the type of person, I can't walk around looking like everybody else. You know what I mean? I got to have my own identity. You know what I mean? I guess, it's not that they if they would have said, yo, if you cut your hair, I'll let you be in the group with us. I probably would have done it. Reluctantly, I would have done it, but I would have done it. But but they didn't say that. I guess they figured, it wasn't no room for me in Guy. You know what I mean? I would have done it, but it wasn't no room for me. I was the lead singer of Kids at Work, and Aaron was the lead singer of Guy, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? And I still wanted to be, Ralph Tresvant and Michael Jackson and El DeBarge, and and everybody else wanted to be like, like more like Bobby Brown and that kind of vibe. You know what I mean? I wasn't with it at the time.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. but also check out our membership, which is a good way of getting some exclusive videos and actually long videos from day one. But thanks again for watching. Look forward to seeing you again. Thanks.
Sweet.